Hey everybody, we're just gonna get straight into it because we got a lot to talk about today. Ukraine has launched attacks all across the Zaporizhzhia frontline right now. Russia ordered a civilian evacuation of everywhere between Tokmak and Orikhiv, where the front is. The red lines on this map are the major Russian fortifications in this area, and these are all comparable to the Svatove kreminna line. People had sort of known that Ukraine was probably going to try to do an offensive in this region for a bit, and it looks like it may just sort of be starting. They've taken over a vital trench network by Nesteryanka, which is one of Russia's big outposts in the area. Ukrainian troops have been in the south of Kamyanske, which Russia actually captured when before it was a gray zone, before they did their offensive by Orikhiv that really failed. It looks like Ukraine may also be noted inside of Luhivske, right next to Belarus, which was another area where Russia attacked during their offensive. They've moved further into the area west of Nesteryanka, and it's likely that Russia may have abandoned Pyatyhatki. That one's not confirmed though, but this is a decent amount of movement. Over by Vuhledar, Ukraine had already been conducting a counterattack here, and I think this was a greater part of that counterattack, but they were pushing them back in the direction of the river, so a future offensive across here may be easier. The red lines on this map are Russian fortifications. It's based off of a map made by Brady AFR, so shout out to him for not sucking. But as you can see, they have 2 or 3 main lines up by the actual front line. They have a big circle around Tokmak, a big circle around Novokhovka, as well as Melitopol. Melitopol is sort of the big key city that holds the entire region together. Why is that blue? It's a big transportation hub for the whole region. You can see all the roads going in and out. But these lines aren't like actual lines. As you can see on the actual good map that I'm going to put up if I remember when I'm editing, it's largely just trenches or barriers or other forms of stuff like that. Again, shout out Brady AFR. It seems like there's a little bit of a gap in between the area by Vuhledar and between Velika Novosilka and Vuhledar, so I wonder if there's going to be some activity around there as well. In my video about them oppressing different areas of the Zaporizhzhia defense, that was likely to test out where Russian defense was the strongest, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's what they're doing right now. It's likely that they are preparing for a potential offensive, and Tokmak is sort of the key of this first part of it. These lines are really ugly. I need to make them small. Tokmak and Mikhailivka are the last 2 big fortifications that Russia has in the area, and if Ukraine is able to make it to those, it's mostly just going to be a straight shot towards Melitopol. There's also, hang on, I'm gonna go import a file really quick. Alright, Zaporizhzhia. Day 53 of me asking Scribble Maps to add a better topographic map so I don't have to use this. Basically, you can see right here that the elevation is pretty much a straight shot, which is why Russia's compensating with defensive fortifications like trenches. There are these big elevated areas by Kamyanka, but this likely isn't going to be the direction of the attack. Ukraine's main goal is to get past a little geographic trench by Vasilivka and push along this really flat terrain area up to Vesele, because this makes it so once they reach the outside of Melitopol, they're going to have high ground over the area. It may also be good to infiltrate into the Tokmak sort of river trench and continue to push down there. From here, because of the elevation in this region, it's unlikely that Ukraine's just gonna push into it. I'm getting way too ahead of myself, but I think they'd probably push in the direction of Berdyansk, from Melitopol afterwards. That's really that. I don't want to go any further. I feel like I'm getting too ambitious. But Ukraine's main goal here is to push to Melitopol, because if that's able to happen, Russia's stuff is put in a pretty bad spot. Ukraine will have an entirely new, fresh area with no fortifications to conduct assaults with in the direction of Mariupol and Berdyansk, barring the geography thing that I just showed you, as well as the fact that it's going to push up to this little strait right here. And when they're at Melitopol and they do have ground-launched small diameter bombs, they will be able to hit the Crimean bridge again, and that will effectively completely isolate this entire area of the front, including Crimea. Then it just comes down to if Ukraine can break through Armyansk, and that's the overall goal. I thought I was gonna, that's more like what they want to do. That's not what they're going to do in the next 3 hours. But we're really just gonna have to see. I think this is pretty promising, because one of the Ukrainian officials said the counterattack is starting, and the fact that they broke defense at these frontline, pretty vital trenches by Nesteryanka is a really good sign. The Western equipment's come in, the mud has mostly dried up. We may see some stuff coming in the next few days. It's also likely that they may be doing pushes to test out the defense now, and are preparing for an offensive a little bit later. And that's what we got. See you guys later.